Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome back to the Unposted podcast. Today, we have a very special guest, Julian Stokes, dancer, choreographer, and you all know Unposted podcast is all about talking about the things, that we don't see online. And Julian, I think you're a great person to come on my podcast because you have the coolest Instagram. Guys, I was just telling him, his dance videos pop up on my feed every single day, and I'm like, what the heck? I'm just like, he's the most talented dancer. And Emily, my sister, was like, you need to get him on your podcast. Or whenever we did our music video for Brody, I remember Emily was like, you have to ask Julian to do it. She was like, I don't know if he will because, he's like too good for that. But she was like, he's so good. Like, you need to have him. So thank you so much for coming over and being on the podcast with me.
Look, and we love the both of them, Emily and Liz.
So I really want to, you told me a little bit about your story, and I think it's going to be super inspiring to everybody because your journey has been a roller coaster, I can already tell. And I know a lot of people are going to learn a lot from just hearing you talk about your story. So I want to go back. Before you were a dancer, you were in high school, right? And you did track.
Yes.
So when did you get into track?
Ooh.
How did that start?
Oh, I'm ready.
Yeah.
All right. So, so this is what happened. So basically when I was, and it was I was probably 6 years old when I got into track.
Really?
It was mostly track and wrestling at the same time.
Okay.
But I stuck with both, but track was my main thing and everything like that. I got more serious with it more into high school, and I had gotten a scholarship. And as I was doing all this stuff, I went to UNC Pembroke, and I was like, okay, let's.
You got a scholarship for track.
And I was running, it was real fast, 49.8.
What events did you do? Because I did track, actually.
400,
okay,
4x2, and the 4x4. And sometimes I would occasionally do the 200. But
oh my gosh,
it was mostly those three meets.
Gosh, the 400 is I did the 400 and I did the 4x4.
Yes.
And I was anchor for 4x4. And I don't think my lungs have ever been as on fire as when I did
literally
the 4x4.
On fire. You'd be like, oh my goodness.
I never want to feel that pain in my life.
Yeah, it's an intense event. It's because you're literally okay, I can run this the first 200, and then the last 200 comes around. You're like, I am tired.
Yeah.
And you want to know something? In high school, there was this last time, I remember it so clearly because I was so annoyed. Yeah. I was always the anchor for the 4x2 also.
Oh my God.
And since I was always the anchor, I was like, okay, I can beat all these people.
Yeah.
Let's keep me as the anchor. But since I wasn't running the 200 at that time, they didn't have a record for my 200 time. So when we had to qualify, they had to put me as the third leg instead of the anchor. So when they switched me, I was beating all these people all year long. Yeah. And then when they switched me, they switched me to somebody who was a little bit more slower than me, and we got last place.
Aw.
I know. I
feel like the anchor's the fastest, or usually it's the first and the last, right? Or the two stronger legs.
Yeah.
Damn, you said 49 point what?
49.8.
Oh, that's insane. I remember as a female running back in 7th grade, it was if you got a minute and 5 seconds, that was good.
Yeah. That's actually still, well, maybe it might not be anymore, but it was qualifying back in middle school, where you can be okay, I'm qualified now. Yeah. And it's all right. Perfect. I'm qualified. I gotta work now. No more. Yeah.
Jeez. Okay. So from a young age, it sounds like you were pretty competitive or athletic, and
I'm
you were
so competitive.
Yeah. So to be someone who got a scholarship for track, I feel like that work ethic probably definitely had to be there, at a young age. So I like to ask everybody where that, I guess, inspiration came from as a kid to pursue a dream, because you said you really wanted to pursue track, further than just high school. Yeah. So what in your, I guess, upbringing, or was there anybody that inspired that growing up?
I would always have to say my mom. Aww. Because my mom always pushed me to do more dreams instead of doing 9 to 5s. I told myself that as I was with her, I was like, you know what, I don't want to do a 9 to 5. And she was like, yeah. She's like, you don't have to do a 9 to 5. You can be really good at something, and you could do that. And it stuck with me to this day, and it kind of continues to like the rest of the story, because when we were in like college for like the summer portion of the program and everything like that, we were running and everything like that. But I had tried school food for the first time. Like, I really don't eat school food. Like, when I did, I always had like lunches, or I'll get like peanut butter and jelly sandwiches.
Right,
so
the
like
basic.
So it was like so basic. They had like chicken there, and I had some of the chicken.
And this is at your college?
Yes. Okay. And it was in the middle of nowhere, like literally nowhere. Like, there was nothing there, but it was like a D1 school, and it was like perfect. Everybody there was huge. Like, I can just imagine now, like, if like everything worked out, like I would have been on a whole nother level. Yeah. But you know, things happen for a reason. So I tried school food for the first time. It was the chicken, and I got sick after. I got salmonella poison, was in the hospital for 7 weeks, had to get my left leg cut open, and then I had bowel obstruction.
What? Oh my gosh.
Yes.
So all of that, was this in the middle of your track season?
This was in the middle of just practice.
Oh, just practice.
Practice and school.
Jeez. Oh my gosh. But 7 weeks. That's 2 months, basically.
Literally. Basically 2 months. And as like I'm in this hospital, I went back to school. My teacher didn't let me make up any of the work. I think she was low-key a little racist. But I couldn't like sue or anything, because it costs more money to sue than it costs more money to sue than to actually win. Like, so it was like not worth it. And so she basically flunked me.
That's insane. And it's sad that like I feel like people can't sue because it costs so much money to go into any legal action that it's like not worth it at the end of the day. But oh my gosh. So salmonella, first of all, that's crazy, because I know that's like what they promote, like on like, you don't want, my mom would always be like, you do not want to get salmonella, like don't eat raw chicken, stuff like that. So the fact that your school got you super sick is insane. But I think like 7 weeks.
My mom had to come all the way out.
Was it your first year too? Okay, so your freshman year. So you just got your scholarship. You're like, you said your goal was to be an Olympic athlete.
Exactly. Just like this new kid that just came out. I think his name is Quincy. Yeah. I've been watching it more now. I love the Olympics. Yeah. I've just finally came back and was like, I really want to start watching it again to just feel like I was back at home, because I haven't watched it in 12 years.
Wow. Because was it a hard sore spot?
It was a hard sore spot. And now I look, and there's this guy, the 16-year-old boy. I hope he like flourishes. Yeah. If he even sees this, then
his name's Quincy.
His name is Quincy. He's 16 and he just ran his first Olympics.
Isn't that crazy?
He's still in high school, and it was so amazing. Like, it was really inspiring. Like, it was like lifting when I saw it.
Definitely. Well, I relate to the whole Olympic dream because I actually grew up in Dallas. So I moved to Illinois. So I moved to the Midwest when I was like 12, but growing up, I went to an Olympic winners gym. So I was put into this program called the TOPS program, which is like hand selected at a really young age at like 5. And I was put in this like intense training to go to the Olympics, basically. Like my gym had produced a lot of really successful gymnasts. And that was like, well, I want to do that. So I relate to that feeling. Even watching gymnastics now like makes me cry, because I'm like, I wish, my family ended up moving to Illinois. So like there was not any good gyms, but like I was homeschooled, like training all day, every day from like age 5 to like 10. So that was like my whole life. And still to this day, I'm like, if I would have just stuck with it, or who knows,
Exactly.
Because I had all the right steps. Like I was going on the right path. I had the right coaches and the things in line to, potentially make that dream happen. I know like injuries and stuff are crazy in gymnastics, but I definitely relate. Like with watching the Olympics, it's like bittersweet, because like I feel like you can relate to them and that feeling that they have like running or tumbling or flipping or whatever. And like being at the Olympics, I'm like, oh my gosh, like Simone Biles like winning again. Like so I literally like cry my eyes out for her, because the last Olympics she basically was like, I can't do this because of like her mental health, which I think is super inspiring. And so for her to come back, I was like, hell yeah. And then she won. I was like, yes.
And literally to get a gold medal too, it's like
she's my idol. Like if I could meet anybody on the planet, I was like,
oh my goodness,
I want Simone Biles on this podcast. Just manifesting that now.
Oh shoot. I mean, you want to know, I mean, this is off topic, but Maisie Dunn,
she did.
Yeah, her and Simone are like this.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe it's not that far away, guys.
Exactly.
So you just started watching the Olympics because, oh my gosh, my hair. You had those dreams, and basically you feel like, well, you didn't feel like it. Basically, the salmonella poisoning ripped those dreams from you.
Yeah.
How was that? So first of all, being in the hospital, what is that like with salmonella? Like, I don't have any idea of.
Horrible. So like I was like foaming at the mouth.
Oh my gosh.
So it was a lot.
Wait. Okay, so you contracted this poison.
Yeah.
How long before you were like, okay, I need to go to the hospital? Like
it maybe like 2 days.
Oh wow, so fast.
So it was quick. I think it was 2 days. Yeah, I wouldn't say 2 days.
Yeah.
But I know my mom had to get me because it was like really started off with the stomach and then it just kind of like spread it the whole time. But like I was foaming out the mouth. I had like gotten this big bulge on my leg. Jeez. And TMI. Yeah. It was like full of pus.
Yeah.
And they had to cut it open and I had to like brace myself because like I guess like when they cut it and it was just like and then like it was just a lot like just coming out like the whole time.
Oh my gosh.
And then like so it was like a year and I was like I just turned 18 too, so it was crazy. And after like when all this stuff happened, when getting kicked out of school and everything like that,
so you went back and you got kicked out of school.
And
how long? Okay, so you failed out of school basically
failed out of school because I missed days.
I mean, how are you supposed to just like, well, first of all, it's fucked up that you weren't able to make up your assignments.
Yeah.
What the heck? And second of all, I mean, your track too was like, okay.
Yeah.
So you flunked out of school, therefore you couldn't continue your track dream.
And then like I haven't told this part of the story to anybody really yet, so I'm glad to get to say this now.
Guys, we're special.
Yeah, because I've been saving this one. So after all that, I had was like, okay, like I want. My friend was like, hey, do you want to dance?
Yeah.
And I said, okay. So then I was taking dance classes and everything like that. It was more for fun and stuff like that.
Was it hip hop?
It was hip hop.
Yeah.
So then like I had reconnected with one of my coaches. He was like, hey, like I know how much you wanted it and everything like that. Let's try indoor track. And I was like, okay, I've never tried indoor track. It was like a whole different ball game and stuff like that. So I went back and started practicing again with him, and we would like go long practices, blah, 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 blah. And I did an indoor track meet after high school and everything like that. I did it and I didn't feel the same.
Oh, really?
Yes.
You feel like your passion wasn't there? Wow. And is this after you started dance?
This is after I started dance.
Did you start forming like a passion for dance?
I started forming more of a passion for dance. I started going more every week. I started being like, okay, like how can I move like this? Okay, how can I move like that?
Were you one of those dancers that like went home and taught yourself off of like YouTube or anything?
I did some of those. It's crazy because now I'm friends with him, Matt Stefanina. I'm like, everybody used to learn off this man's videos. Like he always had this tutorial. It was perfect. It was like, okay, click. And you're like, all right.
You're like, and were you from a small town?
I'm from Wilmington, North Carolina.
Okay.
Same place as Michael Jordan.
Oh. Nice. So I don't know how big that town is.
It's not that big.
Okay.
Yeah.
So there's not like, people don't go to North Carolina to dance.
No, they usually go, like a lot of people come out of North Carolina, but not a lot of people go to North Carolina.
Right. So do you think that, I mean, obviously not being able to continue track, I'm sure was a difficult healing process. Do you think dance helped that process or like was an outlet for you?
I think it's still helping that process.
Really?
I think it's still helping that process because I always look back and be like, oh my gosh, I am here right now.
Yeah.
Like I'm in a whole nother country. Well, not a whole nother country.
I mean, it basically is.
Yeah, that's what it feels like.
LA is a different country.
Yeah, literally a different country. You literally go to city to city and you see the most craziest things in different ways.
Yes. Oh yeah, for sure. LA is definitely, I'm sure, very different from where you grew up.
Literally. It's so fast paced.
Yeah.
You see so many more crazies. Like
yes.
There's so many more
on
people.
The streets of downtown LA. I see them every day, the crazies. You said you're still using dance as an outlet for that, I would say, traumatic experience in your life. I would say, that's a pretty different. I feel like the fact that you were able to move into a new industry and embrace it is like a real defining moment for you because of how amazing you are now at dance and how you are an inspiration in the dance industry, which I think is super cool. So how long have you, going back, I don't want to get ahead of myself. You started taking dance. You love dance. You started training more. When was the period from, okay, I'm training here. Now I kind of want to be a professional, or maybe I want to see what I can do with this.
Ooh. Oh, so this one was, I would say I was training and everything like that. I met this guy, his guy and his wife, his name is Philip and Kim McGee, who introduced me to like different styles like contemporary, ballet.
Yeah.
Kim taught me like acro, but
wow.
But don't put that in because I don't want people out here to know I do acro. Not flipping for none of y'all. No. But what was I gonna say? Oh yeah. So then like I got introduced to this group called Physical Graffiti. You won't be able to spell it, so you won't be able to search them videos.
Yeah.
But so it was this guy named Vince, and I saw how like good they were, and I was like, I want to be a part. And the very first year that I wanted to be a part, I think I overslept the audition, and I was like, is there any way that I can like actually be a part? And he was like, well, you missed the audition. I was like, so then like I was like, all right, so whatever. So then like the next year I like got went to the audition. I got in, blah 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 blah, and I just was like training with them. And I would say that Vince is the reason why I moved out to LA.
Okay, so how old are you? So you went to college, but not for very long.
Yeah, I was probably 20. No. Yeah, 20 when I first joined this group.
Okay.
So like I was probably dancing for 2 years. My very first teacher, I gotta go back. My very first teacher was Austrian Garcia. And the crazy thing about it is his brother was Connect's, Anthony Carr's teacher also, which is a small world. Yeah. And when I came out here, I found that out. But Vince, yeah, see, like my brain be like,
that's how mine is too. It's okay.
So it's always like this. But as like Vince would go and do stuff like say he'd be like, let's go to. He's like, I'm going to go to Monsters. I'm like, well, shoot, I want to go to Monsters. So then I went to Monsters, got to experience it, met all these like amazing like people and everything like that. And as like I was meeting all these people, I was like, okay, like where are you going at next, Vince? And he was like, well, I'm going to New York. And I was like, yo, mom, can I go to New York? And she was like, here you go.
Oh my gosh. Well, first of all, it's super cool that your mom is so supportive, because what I've learned through just like being out here and talking to people in different like fields is a lot of people don't have that support, especially if, you don't want to go to the traditional route. Yeah. And I had a lot of pushback on that part of my life growing up. Not really from my parents. Like my dad was like, go to college, but then he gave in eventually. My mom was always like, you can do whatever you want. But everybody else in my life was like, you're stupid for like, well, you need to go to college and stuff. Yeah. So to have your mom be so supportive of you, I think is a really special thing. And I just wanted to point that out because...
Look, I appreciate that because she is like, I'll like keep going on with the story because then like it always, when I moved out to LA, it starts to make, it makes me appreciate her so much more. I call her every day. Yeah. She'd be like, what are you doing? She'd be like,
I call my mom every day.
See? Yeah.
See? My mom is my best friend.
Exactly. My best friend. Aww. So, she's a little hard-headed, but it's okay. So then like, we went to New York. I got to like meet like a lot of people and like they're really good. And sometimes like it kind of comes in with the struggle. Like, Vince was really good and like I was like, okay, I'm here. And then like I'm like doing all this stuff, and people be like, "Oh, good job, Vince," and I was like, "Oh yeah, you too, good job," and then they'd be like, they turn their head away, and I'm like, "Oh, you guys are like that." I was like, "Okay." I was like, I'm gonna do this for me and make people recognize who I am as a mover." And so, you know, it would just keep like, okay, let's level up, let's keep doing this, because I would say the struggle is for me, because since I'm so competitive, I want to be the best. Number one all the time. And
I feel that too, like even growing up, like because I did competitive studio dance, and it was like, I mean, obviously nowadays I'm like, that shit did not matter, like first place at Revolution talent competition like does not matter now and has nothing to do with the dance industry, but I wanted to be the fucking best. I want to be the best, you know.
Exactly.
And what I wanted to ask you is how, after, you know, not having track your path anymore, but then still having a fire under you to keep going, like how am I trying to word this? Like, how did you keep that fire in you to keep going instead of, because I know a lot of people would probably fall into a depression or, you know, really feel stuck.
Yeah.
So it's really inspiring that you kept going and you kept pushing. What do you think like ignited that fire?
I would just say, just like, you know, my friend, he was like telling me so much about dance, and he was like, and the crazy part is he doesn't dance anymore.
Yeah.
He was just kind of doing it for fun, but he was telling me so much, and he was like, yeah, it has like, I mean, you can move your body in this way. And then like, I was just like, I met Austrian, and he showed me all these videos, and I was like, yo, these people are good. I was like, I wonder if I can be that good. And like, they're doing all this stuff. And then like, then I remember like back in the day, like there was like these videos that came out. I was trying to find it when I went home last time. And basically they taught you the original choreography for Crimea River.
Oh my gosh.
Yes.
No way.
It was like everybody, like I can't remember where these videos are. Like I need to find, like, it's a disc, and
oh my gosh, you need to find them.
Yeah, because I was like, oh, I would learn all these, because it was like one of those, you know, them ads back in the day, then TV ads, and it's like, buy this. I was like, Mom, buy me this. And then like I'd never used it. Like I was like, I don't even dance.
It's like on TV, you're like, I want this.
So she brought it, and then I like never used it. So then I'm like, what if I like actually got to like originally learn like all this?
Oh my gosh,
that would have been like, I would definitely film every last one and be like, so I learned the original choreography to this. I learned the original to this.
Oh my gosh.
You guys should try it too. Like, you
try
know.
it out.
Exactly.
Your influencer era.
Just be an influencer. Try it out now.
Ding. Thumbs up, like.
But yeah, so then like, I remember when I joined this team, I was like, I want to move to LA. And because Vince was like, I'm going to move to LA. I felt like I was a follower at this point. And I was like, Vince, what are you doing? He's like,
you're
I'm moving.
Just learning and probably like, what? If you're going, like, I want to go too.
Exactly. So he ended up going before I did. And then like, I met this guy named JoJo Grooves.
Okay.
And JoJo Grooves, like I took his class once. He's like, you're not ready. I was like, damn. I was like, well, I'm gonna make you be ready. I'm gonna make myself be ready. So like the next year, I took his class right before I left, and he was like, yeah, you're ready for LA. So welcome. I was like, shit. I hope I'm ready, because I leave literally the next day.
You're like, I leave tomorrow, so whether you think I'm ready or not, I'm going.
Exactly. And it's crazy. Like, it's been 12 years since I started dancing.
Wow.
8 years since I've been in LA.
Wow.
And literally, I came out here. I had like went to Monsters and everything like that. I had like an interesting experience. Like I had like this, I'm gonna get it. I'm gonna be Monsters cast, blah, 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 blah. I'm good enough. And like we get to the audition portion of it, and Laura Edwards was the person. She's like, Julian, come up. And I was like, all right. So she knows my name. I'm about to F this up. And then I forgot everything. So I just stood there, and I was like, wow, this is really humbling right now. I was like, I've never thought I would be.
Was it pretty new to your, like, you just moved out?
It was like the convention style. I was like, it was like, okay. Then I went to like another Monsters, and it was La Beniga. He gave me a scholarship, and I was like, okay, I've gotten better.
Yeah.
But when I like moved out to LA, I was like, okay, I'm good, but I'm not good enough. Like, and I knew that I wasn't good enough. And I was like, I need to do something that's going to like
the training. Like you wanted higher training.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like you probably, at least in North Carolina, you probably maxed out those training outlets there. You know, obviously there's conventions and different things that travel around, but so you moved here and you're like, I need to keep training.
I was like, I need something better. Like I need something that's gonna jumpstart me into the best thing. And it was Debbie Reynolds scholarship program. And I did that for 10 months. Nice. It was like 40 hours a week. And this comes back to my mom. So my mom, she came out there for the first month. And this is like the first time she's came out there. Came out to LA. Yeah. She hasn't been back since.
Wow.
But she's coming back.
What's your mom's name?
Her name is Janice.
Janice?
Uh-huh.
Janice, you need to come back out to LA.
She actually is. She's coming out for Thanksgiving.
Yay.
She's
That's
like,
awesome.
Yeah, because she's been waiting for me to move.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I finally moved.
Oh
and
my gosh. That's awesome.
It's been amazing. So she came out and she was like, she helped me get a new car because right before I left, I got into a car accident. It was stupid, but I'm fine. I'm healthy, everything like that. But so I got in this car accident. I needed a new car. So she helped me out to get a new car. And then she told me, I told her about the scholarship program because when you hear scholarship, it means free in my head.
Yeah. I did the Edge scholarship program.
And you know, scholarship means free. Like in my head,
it means free.
So like I tell this to Erin all the time, Marino, and she was like, yeah, so you sent in your video, I really loved it and everything like that. We want you to join the scholarship program. It's $495 a month. I was like, yeah, I'll get back to you. And then I walked out. And then like I was like, well shit, I'm not about to pay $495 for a scholarship. And then so she was like, hey, my mom was like, I'll pay for the whole thing and your rent. Just make yourself proud. And so
I like love your mom. I don't know your mom, but I love her.
And this is like, and now looking back, that scholarship program changed my life. It put me in new connections. I made like some of the closest friends. I met my best friend there. His name is Charles. And then like he wasn't in it, but he was basically kind of doing the same thing as me. He was training every single day, all the time. And we literally like, it feels like yesterday now I think about it.
That's how I feel. Cause I did my so I didn't have plans to go to college, but I knew I wanted to dance, but I just didn't know how to get here. And like my parents were not funding my way here. And I was like, Mom, I really want to try out for the Edge scholarship. It was like 2 weeks before the audition and my grandma flew me out and took me. And then I got it and I was like, I have to move to LA in 2 weeks. And my parents are like, we don't have money to. Anyway, my dad was like, well, if God gave you this opportunity, like he's going to make it happen for you. So they paid for my apartment for the first year that I was out here. And that's why I'm out here. It's like a very similar situation. My parents were like, well, if it's meant to be, we'll figure it out. Like, and without that program, like I would not be here in LA.
Exactly.
Which that's like cool because I know the Debbie Reynolds scholarship program. I've had several friends go through that, and I know it's a very similar thing to Edge. You know, you go and it's intensive training. You know, at the end you put on a showcase. Did you get an agent right after the show?
I had an agent when I first moved out here.
No way.
Yeah.
How did you get? Because agents are so hard to get.
Oh,
at least they. I don't know anymore because I'm not as tapped into the dance world, but like they were very hard.
They were very hard, and the crazy part about it is Block wanted me, but then like they kept cutting me at the audition, and I was like, well, this sucks. This doesn't make sense. Yeah. This sucks. But then like we get back to Matt Stefanina, and so I was like, okay, like we went to the audition and Matt Stefanina was teaching the MTA audition. And then I got an agent through MTA, and MTA was my first agency, and they did so well. Like, they did well for me and everything like that. And then like I ended up, like, as you can say, exhausted the resources, and I switched to somebody. I switched to MSA, and they have been phenomenal. But yeah,
are you still with them?
Still with them.
Hey,
yeah, nice. I got MTA right before I got the scholarship, and I was like, okay. I went to like my very first audition. It was E+.
Oh my gosh, I remember going to
oh my goodness,
audition.
And it
do
was.
they still have those auditions?
No, not really.
I feel like they don't anymore.
But I just remember it was so quick. Like they were like, I was like, oh my gosh, like we didn't even have time to learn it.
Dude, like my first audition off a scholarship, I signed with Go2, and then my first audition was a Lady Gaga open call.
Oh my goodness.
Did you go to the recent one?
I think I did.
Yeah. I didn't. Emily told me about it though. She said people were out there for like literally waiting for like 12 hours.
Literally.
But I remember being at the back, and I'm like not that tall, so I was like, I have no freaking idea what the choreo is. And then I got split up into groups, and I was right next to JoJo Gomez. Like,
oh my goodness.
I was like, I was like, I literally like blanked out. I was like, I don't know the choreo. Now I'm getting put with like all these like
these
like
people.
veterans like that are amazing. I was like, get out of here. That was my very first audition experience, and I was like, damn. It was like thousands of people. I was like, yeah. Wow, this is the dance industry that I did not know about.
Literally, this is the dance industry. Like, I was like, wait, so they learned this fast? And I was like, yeah. Oh, I was like, so I can learn fast. Oh yeah, now like I can pick up like click and be like click. But
it's a muscle you have to train. Like growing up, I grew up dancing. Like that's what I did. But like remembering choreography was always my hardest. I was like, I can pick it up good enough, but not like Emily can pick it up like with her eyes shut. And I'm like, what the fuck, girl? Like, how are you getting this right now? It's not fair. And that was always my hardest point, is like at auditions I would go in, and if I had just a little bit more time for it to sink into my body a little bit more, like I could kill it. But that's never the case, because I never have. I'm somebody that's like, oh my gosh, stress out the window, like forgetting the choreo.
Yeah.
So yeah, the memory part is like a whole other beast in itself.
Literally a whole nother beast. And you're just like, oh, we got to remember all this?
Yeah.
And you'd be like, at an audition, like, I mean, this is like crazy. Like at audition, sometimes you go there and you're like, I'm learning all these steps. I feel like I'm in class again. Yeah. But then when you get on the job, you don't do none of those steps.
No, you do nothing.
Nothing.
Hardly, yeah.
And you're just like, huh. I was like, okay. I was like, this is what we like trained so hard to be like, step.
You're like, yeah, like step clap.
Stand here. You stand here for like 2 8s, and it's
2,
like
3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 1, 2, like so like basic.
Literally the basic of the basic.
Yeah.
Gosh.
So what was your experience like as far as auditioning? Because I know a lot of people have a lot of different experiences like through the audition life, like getting rejected or like booking or not. Like, what did that roller coaster look like for you?
Oh my goodness.
Some people, like I just had Bella on Bernath, and she books everything.
Yeah.
So like her experience was very different from mine, where I was like, what the fuck, I suck, like getting rejected.
Yeah.
Little do they know, maybe they don't want a redhead, or maybe I don't have a bookend or whatever. But at the time I didn't like really understand.
Yeah. Because
I was young, and I was like, oh, it's not just based on my dance ability. It's based on a lot of other things.
Yeah.
Who they need, what you look like, whatever. So I'm just curious, especially from like a male's perspective, like what it's like, I guess, auditioning, just what your experience has been.
Ooh, it's been horrible. No, I'm just kidding. But like at the beginning, like I would always get past the first round and everything, even in like jazz portions and everything like that. But it was hard because I was on the shorter end, and they always want taller guys.
Yeah, they do.
And since like that was a thing, I was like, it was like really traumatic. I usually gotten direct booked a lot, but it started off, I would say like maybe 3-4 years ago when I started going to like auditions, and well, maybe like I'd say 3 years ago, I would go to auditions and like I'll be able to hold my own weight, and they'd be like, we want him. Wow. And I was like, okay, this is perfect. And then like I like met new people and got new connections, and then they'd be like, yeah, we want him. Yeah. And I'm like, great. And then I noticed that my arms were really long, so then I started to like utilize them more, and then people be like, oh yeah, like we like he looks taller, so let's use him. And
I'm your arms, because you were starting to utilize
utilizing my body more. And then I also used to have long hair, so then when I had long hair, it just wasn't working out in the way so I was like, I need to cut it. So then I cut it, and then like I was like, all right, whatever, like this is this working. And then I cut it again. Now I'm bald. I ain't cut my hair today, but
No.
I'm bald now.
He usually like.
Yeah, just spin around the chairs.
Yeah, exactly.
But basically, when I became bald, I would say during COVID, it's been the best time because everybody's like, I can finally use you, and I'm like, well, why didn't you say anything? But
wow, so that was like 4 years in, pretty much.
Yeah, literally 4 years in.
Where you discovered, I should not have hair.
Yeah, exactly. I should not have hair.
Like, I'm more bookable now.
Exactly.
That's crazy. Well, when I moved here, like I had like dark brown hair.
Yeah.
And my agent was like, you should dye your hair red.
Yeah.
Book more. And I was like, red? That was never like something I was going to do. I was like, whatever. I've had red hair for like 6 years now. And like, it's changed my booking life, I guess. Like I've been I didn't book with brown hair. Yeah. And now it's like with red hair. It's like, oh.
Yeah, they're like, oh yeah, I love red hair. Like, yeah, come on.
Yeah. I was like, what? So I understand. Like, it's like the little things that you just like don't even think of that like you make the smallest difference and you're like, oh, that works.
Exactly.
I'll stick with it. So crazy. I don't know. But now I love it, of course.
Exactly.
Now I love my red hair. It's like I can never see myself going back.
Like, give me another color, another coat.
What other color do you need? Blonde? No. My hair would fry off into the ground if
purple.
I would purple.
Purple.
Hey, purple.
Just like my light.
Yeah. So you had a pretty positive, I would say, overall experience with auditions.
Yeah, it was okay, and like, you know, I would say that if we said anything about the struggle, I was always getting compared to my best friend. He booked everything because one, he was taller. He actually was real. He's still to this day a really good dancer, and people like noticed it. And since we were best friends, they would always try and compare us to. Yeah. And one thing I hate is being compared to somebody else. Yeah. And they'd be like, so how do you feel about, you know, him being booking over you? You know, doesn't that mean that he's better than you? And then I'm like, oh, like I hate,
especially like for me, like people back in my hometown that really don't understand the dance industry. It's like, oh, this person booked this, or oh, this person, why didn't you? And people don't understand there's like so much more that goes into like booking a job than just like your dance ability. Yeah. And so I can feel like your frustration with that, because it's like, no, there's so much more that goes into like booking a job. But what are just curious, I'm sure people watching this will be curious too, what are some of the jobs that you have booked that you've enjoyed being on, or that have been your big, like, I guess like credentials, like the things that are like what you're kind of known for?
Okay, I would say, you know, I always have to start off with my K-pop fans. Yes. Le Sserafim, Coachella, like that was like one of my favorites, like favorites. And then with the same company, it was in Hyphen, so that's for my K-pop fans. Like some of like the two biggest K-pop artists, like, because I really love K-pop. Like, I've back when I was in middle school, I would listen to Big Bang, and they had like Taeyang, G-Dragon, and all them. I actually did one of my classes. Oh yeah, I also teach at Millennium, and I did one of my classes at you know, just say it casually,
just like in case you want to pop in.
Mondays at 2:15.
Yeah,
Mondays at 2:15.
I gotta get in there.
But I did one of the songs to it's called Number One by Big Bang, and like I love K-pop, so the fact that I was able to get on it was like amazing. A dream that I said that I want for dance is to dance with all the old school artists. So you know, right now I'm on tour with TLC.
Wow.
And it's been,
oh my gosh, that's amazing.
Yeah,
that's so cool.
And like I love them to death. Like they're some
icons.
Characters.
Well, whenever I was in the music industry, I was in a girl group, and TLC, it was like we were like an R&B girl group, so like TLC was definitely like our inspiration. Yeah, where it was like, so that's cool. Yeah, that's crazy. What's the tour look like now? Because you're here, but like, is it in and out?
It's in and out. Okay. So like right now I'm on like basically I'm on two tours right now, but like one's for this artist named MKX, and then the other one's for TLC. But TLC is always in and out. Like we leave like next week, we're gone for like a week, and then we come back, then we're gone for a week, then we come back. Gotcha. And then it like ends. That's nice. Yeah, like it ends in October, but I think, you know, they're gonna do like their they have like stuff coming up. I can't say it on camera.
Can't say it yet, but stay tuned. Follow him on Instagram.
Yes.
So you don't miss it. What is it?
_ Julian Stokes.
Right here.
Right.
On the screen.
Somewhere right here.
So I feel like the entertainment world as a whole is like this. Like there's high highs and low lows. And obviously like us dancers or performers, like we post the positive things online.
Yeah.
And like the good things and like the successes, but like we don't usually highlight the things that, you know, maybe, oh shit, you know, I'm not going to post me not booking a job, of course.
Yeah.
Because I think what a lot of people don't know too is that our Instagrams or TikTok or wherever it is like almost like a resume. So like whenever people are going to look at you, they want to see, you know, the cool shit that you've done, not the opposite. But obviously I feel like every artist has their ups and their downs. How did you, I guess, with the lows, how did you get out of that? Did you have a certain mindset that kind of got you out of maybe situations that maybe didn't go as planned?
You know, there was this one situation that happened. I was trying to dance for this artist, and it got stripped away from us. Don't know why, but since it got stripped away, I had like went into a funk because like everybody else was on the job was so successful, and then I was the new guy. So that being said, I was like ready to actually start my career in that time frame. But then the person gave it to a whole new cast. And then I was on my lowest of lows. I would like mope around and everything like that. It wasn't until my friend had said something to me. He was like, you need to get up off your ass and do something. And I was like, yeah, you're right. And every single time I have like a low, I always, since I love amusement parks, I use my, I like to go to amusement parks. So if I have a super low, I have a pass. I just got a new one for this year.
I love amusement parks. So
yeah, like
we'll
literally, Six Flags.
Magic Mountain.
Okay, like we just went like recently. Been like 2 days ago. So when we went and everything like that, I would use that time to just like refresh my mind and just be like, okay, how can I get to the next spot and what I need to do? Or I can't let this backtrack me. I need to figure out how to, go to the next steps. And it was more like I did like, I dwelled in it and like I embraced it, but I didn't want to embrace it to a whole point where I'm just lazy. And then like when you become lazy, it's like, okay, like what can I do? It's like, what can I do in this moment? Oh, I can't do nothing, but I need to do something.
But you made the decision at the end of the day, you know, even in our lowest lows, like whatever that looks like, you have to make a decision to like fight for yourself. And I think everybody has like a little bit of that. Some people have, I think, a little bit more extreme than others. But it's like, okay, I think somebody said you don't want to go by your emotions, but we can process it in our brains like, I need to do this and just follow that, not how we feel in the moment. Because if I listened to how I felt in the moment every day, I would be in bed still.
Exactly.
I would not have made it to the gym this morning.
Nothing. And then sometimes like I would say that it also helped talking about the emotions with other people.
Totally.
I've noticed that me talking more about my emotions, because since I'm a Cancer, like we're so emotional. We're like, oh my gosh. But like I just like sometimes like I don't talk about my emotions enough, and like when I talk about my emotions, I actually fix the things that need to be fixed. And I'm like, okay, I was doing this wrong, or I didn't understand it from that standpoint, or okay, like I didn't see it from that way. How can I make this better? And then it's like you're learning.
Definitely. No, that's good. First of all, that's great advice for anybody listening. It was so cute. My littlest brother listens to my podcast, which he's 11 or 12, 11, one of those two. And he listens to this podcast. So every time somebody gives like a little piece of advice, I'm like, my little brother Sam is going to hear this. And it makes me happy because I feel like I have I have a mixed audience, but I'd say more like younger and then our age.
Yeah.
And I think hearing your story and kind of walking through it, any like little piece of advice, I'm like, oh, that's gonna like hit home for somebody.
Yes.
But yeah, just being able to pull yourself out of it, get back on track. I wanted to ask you, because you started dance later, and a lot of people out here started dance when they were like 3. I feel like so young. You started like after college, basically after high school. If you were to give any advice to somebody that maybe, let's say they go to school or they're going down a path that they don't think is for them, or maybe they want to try something new but they're scared of like being judged or whatever for pursuing a passion.
Yeah.
Is there any advice for a kid like that? Or
yes, there's shoot, I was ready for this one.
Yeah.
I have this mentor.
Yeah.
He knows who he is because he gave me my first big job.
Yeah.
His name is Chuck Maldonado, and I listened to a podcast literally just like this.
Yeah.
And he talked about how he used to be a school teacher, and he choreographed like a little dance recital, like a little slight dance recital, and Left Eye was there, and Left Eye brought him from TLC, which is crazy. Left Eye brought him onto the tour that they were on, and that's how he started his dance career.
He was a teacher, though.
He was a teacher. He was a biology teacher, I think he said he was. And he was 30-something years. He was 30 years old or something like that. Then he went on to choreograph Step Up and like all these big movies.
Oh my gosh.
Stomp
that
the Yard.
That literally gives me chills, because you just never know when your time is going to come.
Exactly. He went from teacher salary
Yeah.
to 6 figures.
Yeah.
And listening to that,
Yeah.
it told me one thing. It says you can, I always tell like anybody who I teach, if it's like more of in a private setting,
Yeah.
if it's in like a big class, I usually don't say it because like, you know, I always project that energy. But I always say you are good enough.
Yeah.
You are worthy, and you can put anything, you can do anything you put your mind to. And if you do anything you put your mind to, you can be whatever you want. You could be an astronaut if you want at an older age. You can run track if you want it at an older age. Yeah. And you just have to put the work in, and you have to believe. Yeah. Gosh, I have an itchy nose today. I know. I keep going like scratching this nose. I'm like, what's going on with this nose? But no, like you can do anything you put your mind to, and like the world is your canvas. Yeah. So all you have to do is just embrace it.
Yeah, definitely. And I think a lot of people struggle with feeling judged by other people, and like, at least like I've felt that in my life, like, oh, I can't do this because I'm scared of what other people are going to think. Did you get any of those types of people being like, what, you're going to dance?
Oh, you know, I get those type of people, but from my family, we trash talk a lot. So I would just clown them the way back. And like, even like, I love the game and everything like that. And like, people ask questions like when we're on the mic, and they'll be like, so what do you do? And I'm like, I dance. They're like, oh, that's gay. And I was like, okay, but you wouldn't say that to my face. And then like, you know, so it's like interesting things like that, because people say those kind of things, and honestly, they're just words, and like they can't hurt you unless you let them hurt you. Yeah. But like, I understand, like you have to believe that. So that they don't hurt you, because you know, people can say anything that they want. They can say it in a computer screen. Literally. This one guy actually, I'm like, it was like one of those private pages, and it was like a cat. Yeah. He was like, hey.
They don't even have their profile picture.
Exactly. And then he was like, so is this hip hop? And I was like, yeah, this is my class. It's at 8:30. He was like, well, if this is hip hop, then he's like, what has Millennium come to? Because I don't know what this trash is. And I was like, ooh.
Oh my gosh.
I was like, I was rocking in my seats, and you know, old Julian would probably had like sent him a nice little message, and you know, came for him and everything. But then also at the same time, it's like, why would I entertain you? Like, there's no point. Like,
you know your worth, and you know that a lot of people are getting value from your class, and it's proof that, you know, you're teaching and you have a ton of people show up to train with you, that
exactly,
you know what you're doing, and you're offering something valuable to people. Otherwise, you wouldn't be teaching at Millennium, first of all. Exactly. And have people in class learning from you. So yeah, people are, I know it's like harder, easier said than done to block out the trolls of life that want to bring you down, but you know, they're jealous most of the time.
Literally, they're jealous, and it's okay. You can do anything that you want to do, and if you want to make pottery, you can make pottery, make the best pottery, and kill it. If somebody says anything about your pottery, you can just throw it at them. No, I'm just kidding. Don't do don't do that. Please don't. But no, like if they say anything, then like just be like, well, see where I am when I get good, or see where I am when my passion like becomes to light, because you can do anything that you want to do.
No, definitely. I totally, and I live by that too. And I said, I was like growing up, I was like, I'm going to be a dancer. People are like, what the fuck? Because I'm from like a really small town.
Yeah.
Like, a dancer. Like they didn't even know what that meant. And, you know, I'm not in a dance. I'm a dancer, but I'm doing other things now. But like, I'm still in entertainment doing the thing. And people are like, what do you do? I'm like, I don't even know. I'm like, I don't even know what I do.
I'm creative.
Yeah, I'm a creative. Exactly. Last question before we wrap up is, you're really focused and you're still pursuing dance and you're super successful now.
Yeah.
What, staying on that track, because what you said, 12 years now.
12 years.
And I don't see you quitting dance anytime soon. It's still going. It's still going up.
Yeah.
Right. How do you stay so focused? What advice would you give people to stay focused on their dreams?
I would say the advice with staying focused on your dreams, no matter what it is, the first step is just committing.
Yeah.
And once you commit to something and you give it not 99%, 100%, or 150%, once you keep with that 150, then the only thing that will happen every single day is you just get better and better and better at what you do. And as you keep getting better and better at what you do, you start to understand. You be like, okay, I could do this, or I could do this differently, or I love the way how I do this because this works for me really well. And as like you keep getting better and better at these things, you start to notice that, okay, I'm doing great in my career, and it's actually bringing back a lot of like fortune to me. And I'm able to live the life that I've been wanting to live for so long. Because that's for me, like I love dance, and I'm like getting to accomplish new goals.
Yeah.
But I'm also getting to live the life that I wanted to live. Like I finally am like, and it's all about like your connections, and it's all about, you know, something that you really wanted. Like, you know, back in the day, like I used to play this game called World of Warcraft, and like I had to save up a lot of money to buy this dragon. People know, the younger kids, if they know, like they know, or the older ones, it doesn't matter. And you have to save up 5,000 gold, and like this is like how I learned how to save money, and like it kind of transferred into to like how you like when you get dance jobs, because you can make so much from it. It's just you can spend it all in one sitting and like you be broke. Yeah. But like I like have been able to make a good amount where I can actually find actually get a 1-bedroom that I've always wanted. Yeah. And it's with my partner, but at the same time I'm able to live in like a new area, a new place, and actually be successful in life.
And just like love your lifestyle.
Exactly.
And that's like the goal, is like you just want to be at peace with like where you are in life.
Peace is the real one.
Peace. But like it took a lot of learning and growth and like openness to growth. Yeah. I feel like that's another thing. Like you learn so much, especially like going down the path that you have. It's like trial and error until finally you get to a place where you've learned so much and you've connected so much that everything kind of just, the puzzle pieces kind of fit together a little better. But if there was a kid out there that wants to be a professional dancer, I like to ask this to my dancers that come on here. What advice would you give to somebody that wants to move to LA that doesn't maybe have a plan to yet, or doesn't know how to get here?
I would say if you move out here, first of all, that's the first step. Yep. Second of all, if you ever need to like like guidance assistance and everything like that,
Yeah.
find somebody that will help you out. If you come to me, I got you. Like I'll definitely help you out and give you like a lot of tips. I love doing those kind of things. I actually when I was in Denmark a long time ago, I actually taught a class on just tips on how to just follow your dreams in the industry and just being like what you need to know, and also like how you can actually progress in the things that you want to do. I've learned a lot from a lot of my mentors, and they told me all the things that is what you need, and I've been taking it to like, well, it's been in my heart, and I just apply it each and every day. It's like you're planting seeds. And I say the first step is always moving. The second step is just getting it all together. And getting it all together doesn't take one day. It takes time. And once you have that time and you actually start to figure out little by little, you will see the flourish, the seeds grow. There we go.
Start to sprout.
Just
start to flourish.
Little flower effect.
Yes, exactly. No, I think that's super great advice. Is there anything you have in the works now?
Ooh.
Or any new ventures you're taking? Maybe you can't talk about them, but
so I literally just would say that right now, I mean, I am on tour with TLC and MKX. And you know, I'm like starting off where I'm trying to teach all around the world. And that's like the next new goal right now, besides just dance, because I know I love dance, but I also love teaching at the same time.
Definitely.
I've like started to become like a movement coach also. So like that's like one of my newest adventure that I've been going down. And literally that so if I teach in your city, come out, jam with me. It's definitely going to be hard.
How would you describe your class as far as like style? Obviously hip hop, but like, I guess movement wise, like what to expect from Julian's class?
You never know what you're going to expect because I don't even know.
That's great.
Like never even know. Like sometimes I add Afro, dance hall, like it has mixture of all styles because I say that music wasn't devised into a box, so I don't think my style should be devised in the box either.
I love that. You can't put yourself in a box. You're too good for that. So what's your Instagram?
_ Julian Stokes.
_ Julian Stokes. Guys, make sure to follow Julian. Are you on TikTok?
Oh yeah, I'm on TikTok too. It's just Julian Stokes on TikTok.
Okay, so follow Julian on Instagram and TikTok. And thank you so much for coming on the podcast. Thank you for
having me.
I'm excited for everybody to get all of the little spurts of inspiration from this episode. I think a lot of people are going to take away a lot. So thank you. And thank you guys for tuning in. I will see you guys next Tuesday. Bye.